A Gathering of Days, A New England Girl's Journal, 1830 to 1832. A novel by Joan W. Blos. Providence, Rhode Island, November 20th, 1899. To my namesake, Catherine, I give you this book on your 14th birthday, as I turned 14 the year of the journal, the year that was also my last on the farm, though I did not know it then. It was also the year that my father remarried, and my best friend, Cassie, died. Cassie lives in my memory still. Of all of us, the only one never to grow old. Once I might have wished for that, never to grow old. But now I know that to stay young always is also not to change. And that is what life's all about. Changes, going on every minute. And you never know when something begins, where it's going to take you. So one thing I want to say about life is don't be scared and don't hang back. And most of all, don't waste it. Your loving great-grandmother, Catherine Hall Onesti. Chapter 1, Sunday, October 17, 1830. I, Catherine Cabot Hall, aged 13 years, 7 months, 8 days, of Meredith in the state of New Hampshire, do begin this book. It was given to me yesterday, my father returning from Boston, Massachusetts, where he had gone to obtain provisions for the months ahead. My father's name is Charles Hall. I am daughter also of Hannah Cabot Hall, dead of a fever these 4 long years, and older sister to Mary Martha, whose dark curling hair resembles our mother's, but I have our mother's blue eyes. My dearest friend is Cassie. The Shipman's farm lies south of ours and is rather larger. Cassie is older than I by a year, but the same in height. We tell each other everything, and each of us in the other's dear hearts finds secret dreams reflected. Cassie's brothers are David Horatio, older by a full 2 years, Asa Hale, my age exactly, and William Mason, the youngest. He is but a baby and called by everyone Willie. This day being the Sabbath, we attended services both morning and afternoon. October 19, 1830. This be the precept the teacher set out today. Let thy words be plain and true to the thoughts of thy heart. These be the thoughts of my heart, that I may remain here forever and ever, here in this house, which my father has built with the labor of his 2 hands. That no harm come to those I love, father and my sister Mattie, Cassie and the Shipman family, the father's brother, our Uncle Jack, who mills when he needs money and never took a wife. Also, that I may train myself to want to do what I am asked to do. Last and most bitter of all, to confess, I wish that my hair were curly, as Mattie's is, and our mother's. Thursday, October 21st, 1830. Teacher Halt commended me for writing with a finer hand than I had displayed before. Still, must my capitals be improved, achieving a better flourish. This night, Father told us a story after supper hour. A man had lost 4 hogs in the woods and went there to retrieve them. Before he had gone very far on his way, a headless woman rose up before him. Spectral and blocking the path As might he expected, he fled the spot. But thinking on it, when he woke up to the morrow, and still much the poorer for the loss of the hogs, he ventured back again. There he discovered that his apparition was naught but the rooty tangle of a fallen tree. It wasn't a woman without a head at all. It was a fallen tree. Animals had gnawed some portion away, thus suggesting the shape and the shading, and the woman's arms, as he supposed, were but a pair of rooty, large roots bent at an angle. The lesson, as Father put it to us, is that intelligence must prevail, for had the fellow not returned, he had suffered all his days, victim to an ignorant fear, no better than the meanest man, or least instructed child. Friday, October 22nd, 1830. We had a visitor today, but nearly failed to admit him. No callers surely were expected, and peddlers, tinkers, and the like will not come by till spring. Thus we ignored the rattling latch. At times the wind will mislead us, so until a voice called out. It proved to be Uncle Jack, and though he protested he was just passing by, I thought he meant to visit. He brought some store sweets, wrapped in paper, and consented to have some cider. I'm assuming store sweets means candy. Or maybe cookies or cakes wrapped in paper. All right. Tuesday, October 26, 1830. Winter is coming. There was ice across the trough this morning. The frost on the upper meadow. Uncle Jack to visit again. Father could scarce believe 'twas so, but Uncle Jack had read in the paper where a Mr. Samuel Newell had raised a white potato to better than 24 inches, taken in girth around. But here comes our uncle with the paper itself, and pointed just as he told it. Then nothing would do but down to the cellar to hunt and search for the largest of ours, and carry it up for measure amidst much speculation. When I could wait the supper no longer, having earliest raised the pot from the fire, but still was scorching, threatened, I ventured to invite our guest, and soon set out a pleasant meal, Uncle Jack joining gladly. Later, Father praised me direct, saying that I was a pride and a comfort, and added directly after that, There's many a full-grown woman here would not do as well. I shall not forget those words, his words, and am resolved that for all my days I shall essay such tasks and virtues as may sustain his comfort and increase his pride. Woo! Okay. Monday, November 1st, 1830. Only 3 more weeks remain until Thanksgiving Day. I must attach my new lace collar to my Sabbath dress. Also, it being snug for me, I must take up the patterned frock which I have given to Maddie. She can use it nicely, I think, together with her new knit stockings and red Morocco boots that were mine once also. Cassie and I and Miss Shipman have already begun the preparations for the Thanksgiving meal. The cakes we make first are those that keep best in the cellars cool. Last week we turned out some gingerbread. Today we made a Yankee cake and a firm plum pudding. Mrs. Shipman's sister in Salem had sent a new receipt for this, but as we had no currants here, we had to do without. Thursday, November 4th, 1830. Returning home from school this day, I had a dreadful fright. Clearly, I saw presented to me the dark silhouettes of a lanky man, his coat all tattered against the sky, his bony hand above his eye as if to give it shade. Although I quickly pointed him out, so swiftly did he vanish away that nothing remained when Cassie and Asa obeyed my pointing finger. Then, stubble-toed, I must explain what I had wished them to see. Asa remembered the headless woman and that story's teaching. From that he determined that nothing would do unless we followed after. Cassie, ever more prudent, that is, demurred. Therefore I, as the third in the party, cast the deciding ballot. This is Cassie. As it was coming on to dark, I still had our supper to set. I announced with Kathy. Asa at this scowled ruefully. I announced with Cassie. Asa at this scowled woefully. But soon after, we all joined hands, and in a most perfect companionship resumed the homeward journey. It is Friday, November 5th, 1830. Along the road and in the fields is neither green nor white snow. All is sere and brown. How much farther one can see now that the leaves are gone. Only the faithful evergreens guard the margins of our fields and keep the forest secrets. Look, Kath! Maddie calls to me, her small face muffled and cold. My breath is frosting like Babe and Nellie's. Then she lows an oxen will, till I am quite ashamed. Sorry, I couldn't resist doing that, y'all. Okay, Saturday, November 6, 1830. Mrs. Shipman called on Father. The purpose was to present to him that her sister will visit from Salem. Now she calls her the unmarried one. And said she would stay a while. Of this he assured her he was glad, and hoped they both would enjoy renewal of old and sisterly ties. There being nothing further to say, they spoke of other matters. He would build the cupboard she needs. She, exchanging service for service, agrees to provide continued instruction in the diverse household arts to myself and Maddie. 'Tis hard, she sighed, the loss of a mother and her gentle guidance. We do all right, I heard him say. Now I've no wish to offend thee. But we do all right. He repeated. November 7th, 1830, the Sabbath day. Uncle Jack and we three also visited with the Shipmans after morning service. Mr. Shipman and Father remarked how frequent are the instances of bound boys run away. When they were lads, or so they say, it was much less common. Now each week's courier displays a greater and more petulant number of masters' advertisements. We will no longer be responsible for, and having knowledge of, the subscriber's wishes to state. And what would we do, our Uncle Jack asks, were such a fellow hereabouts and known by chance to you? Turn him out and in, turn him out and turn him in, is Father's prompt reply. But Charlie, Uncle Jack pursues, supposing the boy were right to run off. He couldn't be that, to my way of thinking, being bound to stay. Besides, it's not what to intermeddle. No, you'd have to do it, and do it clean. Send the vagrant, whatever his claim, back where he belonged. Father believes, as he's often said, that man's intelligence is given to him, that he may distinguish right from wrong, and knowing right may do so. So some think him too severe in this. It is not that, but honor. That is the end of chapter 1 of A Gathering of Days, A New England's Girl's Journey of 1830 to 1832 by Joan W. Blos. I'll see you in the next chapter.